Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is Blue Knight 7 with the Blue Knight Cast, episode 39. And today, I'm a little pressed for time, but I did get to watch the Indie World presentation at 9 o'clock this morning. And I just wanted to get on here long enough to give sort of a quick reaction to what I saw. And it was a surprisingly good Indie World. Now, I said yesterday, none of them has ever been bad for me, which is true. There's usually something out of the whole presentation I want, which, that's my lower standard than a lot of people on the internet. But today, there was a lot of them I'm thinking, yeah, I want that one. So, for me, it was a surprisingly good indie world because there was just so many. I knew it was supposed to be 15 minutes. I thought they would cut back a bit on like introduction to the developer segments, if you will. They still had them. I felt like they tried to keep them short, which is good. It kept the pacing good. But I won't go through every game, but just to hit a few highlights for me. The one they opened with, Dench Attack, that looked kind of just sort of like a crazy fun game, which to me that's what a good indie game should be. Like just some crazy fun gameplay idea, something you don't see every day. Just give me a unique hook, and that one kind of did for me. It looked like there was a demo out today. I'll probably try it later. Going through them though a little more, particularly I'm not real big on the shopkeeper game, and I'm probably going to mess up some game titles today, so forgive me in advance. But there was a sequel to that, a Moonlighter 2. Was surprised to see that, pleasantly surprised. I'm not big on the first one, but good to see that. I was particularly drawn to Widow, which is, I'm not a cozy game person, but just the whole idea of it. They're calling it a 3D coloring book, but to me it was just as much a 3D puzzle, and just intrigued by it. May or may not get it, but intrigued. Mini shooter adventure, something like that. That looked good. That looked actually interesting to me, and like something I would want to try out. So interested in that. Midnight Stalker or Midnight Walker. That was some crazy graphics. Like I know in a technical sense it may not have been the most impressive, but the art style, it felt like Tim Burton stop motion as a game. That was pretty interesting. I was intrigued by that. Going to before even that, the FPS shooter was also different to me. I was looking at it like, wait a minute, this is an indie game? I guess it is. But it was kind of like I'd want to look into that a little more, just see how much the rogue elements really play in. Is it, how good is that? It looked like it was coming out soon. We had a couple of shadow drops out of all that too, and I'm trying to remember which one was which as far as that goes, but we had some shadow drops. On their sizzle reel, a lot of them looked good. There was one about, I think it's called Derailed. It was about making sure a train track went correctly. That looked like silly fun. Like that might be something I would want to try. And there was also a brawler. I'm struggling to remember its name. This is what happens when you just start a video up right after it and not write down good notes. But there was indie game that was sort of a side-scrolling brawler / RPG that was, I believe, shadow dropped today, and it looked good. It looked very good. Probably the one I was most interested in out of the whole show, and I'm trying to remember its title now. I'll probably have to throw that in on the next entry. But they closed it with Blueprints. That's probably the one that's going to really hit the headlines out of the gaming news cycle today. Blueprints coming to Switch 2. For those who don't know, it's kind of a puzzle game. To me, it reminds me a lot of, say, the old school PC CD-ROM based puzzler games, like Myst, let's say, or Seventh Guest, or any of those ilk. Only it seems to have some sort of randomization element. I never really followed the game too close, but I do know it was basically Game of the Year last year. Indie Game of the Year. Would have went to Expedition 33, but on that particular award show, but Blueprints got it because Expedition 33 had a bit of an AI scandal, if you want to call it that. But it was clearly supposed to be a quality game, top indie game last year, coming to Nintendo Switch 2 this year. So yeah, and just speaking more generally, I just think even though it was a short presentation, it had quite a few bangers. Like, there's just a bunch of stuff for me that was like, yeah, I want that. And that's not always the case for me. Usually there's one or two, like maybe the Shadow Drop game or something like that. There'll be one or two, and that makes me say I want it. But that's it. But that's enough to make it good for me. But this one actually had like 4 or 5. And for me, yeah, that is just unusually good. I actually was taking a minute just to look up the title of that game since I brought it up. But Mixtape also seemed interesting, by the way. It's not really for me. But it is, it looked like for people who want that, it would be a quality entry. And Rotwood. That was the name of the game I keep talking about. Rotwood. Available later today. So, sorry for the embarrassment of not being able to mention that game, but Rotwood. Anywho, that's what I thought of today's Indie Direct. Just surprisingly good amount of content for what was shown. Yeah, it was a little over 15 minutes. Not surprised. The only other big thing I think needs to be worth mentioning in the big picture is, and I think Switch Force is saying this on his channel last couple days, or at least since this was announced, but usually when you see an Indie Direct, there's a General Direct not real far behind. I'm not saying that's a guarantee, but it is one pattern you do see a lot with these directs. Like the Indie World predates the General. Now, does that mean we're going to get a General Direct in March, or a Mario Day, March 10th General Direct? I don't know. I think that's pushing it. I mean, but if you really want to subscribe to the idea of Indie World predating it, yeah, you can see one in the next 2 weeks. I'm still going to hold to there being a General Direct in April after the Mario Galaxy movie launches, because I feel like they've tried to stay focused on a handful of things for the first 3 months of the year, let's say. The Mario Galaxy movie, Pokopia, however you say it, Mario Tennis. Let Pokemon, let the Pokemon Company make their announcements, or Game Freak make their announcements. But I can't help but think there's going to be something soon, even if it's April 2nd soon. My soon is probably not going to be everybody else's soon. So, for now, I'm just going to say Switch 2 is good to me. The library, what we have right now, whether it's first party or indie, seems pretty healthy. We do need a general direct just to see what else first party has in store, because that is what we know the least about at this point. But first party's been, good so far. I want to say it's been the best, but it's been good. DK Bonanza makes it good. Third party has been excellent. Capcom and Square have really carried that, but they have put out a lot. Koei Tecmo too. Konami's even backing them up. This is a lot better than it used to be, people. And indie has been healthy overall. The indie scene has been healthy. They continue to support Nintendo platforms like they always have. Give us a general direct to tell us what we can expect in the last half of the year, or we should be real good for 2026. Really should. And I guess that's all I really have to say today. This is Blue Knight 7 with the Blue Knight Cast, episode 39. If you want to comment, give me your reaction to this Indie Direct. Was it as good to you as it was to me? And thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing it with me. Please like, subscribe, whatever you can do. Share this. I'm trying to grow the channel. And yeah, thank you for listening.